key. And out of a job will these sniffer dogs be replaced by technology. The audience were ecstatic when the real thing made a surprise appearance. Sir Paul McCartney came to sing for his friend.
A sellout concert and a trip down memory lane for many in the audience. Little did they realise that there was a real Beatle waiting in the wings to pay his own tribute to George Harrison.
Paul McCartney!
He thought he'd just call in. Sir Paul had a song he'd like to dedicate to the Beatle he dubbed his baby brother.
Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
The crowd loved it. For Sir Paul, it had been an emotional evening.
Audience was brilliant, all the performers were brilliant, and I know George would have loved it.
And at the Beatles Museum in Liverpool today, fans can now pay their own tribute. A new wall dedicated to the legendary musician who died from cancer last year. Here in his hometown, it's a long goodbye. Emma Simpson, BBC News.
And now over to Helen.
The sellout crowd may have been stunned by his surprise appearance, but they gave Sir Paul McCartney a loud welcome home. He recalled the days when he and George Harrison were themselves just in the audience at the Empire.
We used to come here, as lads, to watch people like Cliff and the Shadows. We'd be sitting up there, before all the Beatles stuff. And here we are now,
And then the ultimate tribute to the man he called his little brother.
This is for George, okay? Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday.
It was the highlight of a night of performances by musicians from the Merseybeat era.
I was really pleased, amazed, but really pleased, because normally Paul doesn't show at these things, And obviously, George meant a lot to him, so for him to come up and do that is absolutely gobsmacked. I was when I heard about it.
It's the morning after the night before, and the Beatles Museum unveiled a wall similar to that at the old cavern, where fans can leave their personal messages to George. Some weren't even born when the band split up.
Because we all loved George Harrison, even though we didn't really know him when we were born. But it's a tribute to George Harrison, and as being a scouser ourselves, we think we should become today. Everyone should be here today.
These events mark what would have been George Harrison's 59th birthday. The museum's now working on a more permanent memorial. It hopes to have it ready by the first anniversary of his death in November. It's hoped about £40,000 has been raised by the concert for cancer charities.
Thanks everybody for being beautiful people. George would have loved this.
Appearance of another former Beatle. Catherine Marston is in Liverpool. Catherine, tell us about the messages first.
Well, yes, this is called The Wonder Wall. It's named after George Harrison's first solo album, and it's really a chance for people to put their very personal messages to George Harrison on display. It's just one of the many tributes that the people of Liverpool are paying to their former son, and last night was another, a concert who had a very special guest star.
So, this is for George, okay?
For Paul McCartney, only one way to say goodbye to his lifelong friend.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. The great friendship, even before the Beatles, and even before I met John and Ringo. We'd come in, like I say, every morning, talking about guitars and rock and roll and all of that.
personal memories are treasured by fans too, and the tribute wall is the place to share them.
Deep in the darkest night, I send out a prayer to you, now in the world of light. You've taught us so much in your short time here, but having you leave us is so hard to bear.
We'll try not to weep. Instead, we will pray that the world celebrates on this, your birthday.
George Harrison was many different things to many different people. He went all the way from being a songwriter, a member of the Beatles, a film producer, a gardener. Everything he did was done with extraordinary passion and great determination.
Well, those are some of the heartfelt stories from people, and there's plenty more along this wall. These hearts, for example, have come from the Beatles fan club, and already tributes are coming from as far afield as Japan. There's a very personal message here for George Harrison with some origami, and the organisers say eventually they hope to publish a book too.
Catherine, thank you very much indeed for that. Okay.
Strickland's professional competence fell well below.
Tonight facing charges of treason.
Appearance of